welcome to Beauty on a Budget and Palette of the Month, my second one. Now, when I was thinking what to do, I was thinking, let's start from a real traditional palette, because I thought, you know, these are palettes that I would personally really highly recommend. I wouldn't be doing the palettes of the month if it wasn't. I said there could be ones in my stash, could be ones I've bought new, but they are palettes that I would stand by and I use, and I've used for a while and I'm really happy with. So I thought, let's start from the very basics. So I've gone, but we didn't start, I started with the normal one, didn't I, last month, but this one. This is the Revolution Ultra Eye Contour Light and Shade. Not shade and light, guys. To remind you a bit. It's a perfect dupe for Kat Von D's Shade and Light palette. That palette, Kat Von D's palette, was such a winner because it is such a stable. It's such a stable palette to have. Certainly you can use it on its own. You can work it fine on its own, as I have today, or you can incorporate it with other things. Sometimes you get palettes where you haven't got a nice contour shade or a crease shade, or you need that, you know, transition shades that are normally missing a lot, aren't they? So this is the palette. I think this is a perfect dupe. Some of them are not, and I didn't want to do it as a dupe palette. I didn't want to, because I so like it. I wanted you to see it as a palette of the month, because I think this is wonderful. I love Revolution, you know. I've got a lot of time for Revolution Cosmetics. This palette is not a new one by far. It's been out quite a while. This is my second one. I've worn the, you know, and the amount of palettes I've got, you can to actually go through one. But it's such a stable. It is such a stable. It's so nicely laid out. I like the way that it's laid out, in that obviously you've got a bronzer and a contour and a highlight there. But you use those as eyeshadows. I've used those in my eyes today. I've incorporated them in my eyes. And then they're in blocks. You see? There's 3 separate blocks. So that if you wanted your colours to really coordinate, you've got the 3 blocks. Or you could work along as you chose, whatever colours you chose to use. I'm using the centre block today. But I've also got this on, and this on, and a bit of this on. So this is the look I came up with. Let's see how I did that. So guys, which section to use? Of course you haven't got to use, I mean, they're done in brilliant sections, I think, really brilliant sections. But you can sort of mix and match all the way along if you want to, sort of according how you want in your eye. They are all matte. So I will start off. I'm going to do my eyes very slightly differently today. I'm going to start off with what could be the contour, but I'm going to use it as a transition shade. A bit more on the brush. You know, as I said in the beginning, everybody can do with this type of palette. When I was thinking what to do for palette of the month, this month, I thought, let's do a basic, a real basic palette. And there's so many. I mean, I've got one from, another one from Revolution, from the Reloaded, the Basic Mattes. That's also another lovely palette. But I think this one is laid out so well that if you did happen to be a beginner, or you're just reintroducing yourself to makeup, I think this one is ideal. I really do. And we're blending that. I'm sure some of you haven't watched me before thinking, she's doing big brushes. But honestly, I've really found it helpful to do the blending with the brush bigger like that. I find it really, really helpful. So we're carrying on with that. And I'm going to stick with the real earthy browns today. You see that's nicely pigmented. You know, of course pigmented is really important. You want pigmentation, you don't want to be working for a week putting an eyeshadow on, but sometimes I find ones that are over pigmented, because you can only put a tiny bit on your brush. You've got to work a lot to, they mean they blend nicely, but you've got to work a lot because you've got to get that tiny bit to really go all over. Am I coming across what I mean? So sometimes I just find that quite hard. I mean, I've got palettes that are really heavy pigmented and, you know, I can get round it. But I prefer something not wishy-washy. That's quite powdery. Can you see? Although I've got no fallout at all on my face. But I'm shaking my brush a little bit. I'm just going to deepen that up just a little bit. Right. And more blending. I never know, guys, whether you like to watch this all the way through or whether you like to see me do one eye. You know, sometimes I just do one eye and I say I'll be back when I do the other eye. I'm never sure if you prefer me to watch me do all of it or whether just sort of the highlights, you know. Because I don't want you to miss what I'm doing, but at the same time I don't want you to bore you, you know. Okay. So that's what I've used as a transition. That was the, what I guess is a contour. Now I want to go a shade deeper, but I'm sticking in that same family. Do you see this one here, guys? So I'm sticking in that centre section where it's a really cool browns. Now, I'm not going into any of the warms today. Going into the cool browns like this. And lower down, same place, lower down, not going so high, and the same here, lower down. It's easy to work with, easy peasy to work with. It's really one that I think anybody who likes makeup, or anybody who's just got, you know, doesn't wear makeup all the time but just wants a, you know, a little bit aside for when they do, I think this is an ideal palette. I think it's a really ideal palette. I mean, the Shade and Light, the original, the Kat Von D Shade and Light was a lovely palette, but a lot to pay out, especially if you're just starting and or just being reintroduced. But then, you know, I'm an avid makeup wearer and I wear makeup every single day, but I still like this kind of palette in my arsenal, you know. So we're working gradually. And then we want to make sure we don't get no muddiness. So work it. That's it. Wasn't it easier, guys, when our eyes were nice and tight and didn't have to get around this, that and the other. That's that. A little bit of fallout that side, not much. So we will deal with that. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush, smaller brush, and I'm going to put that one in. I always tend to use the same brushes. And I'm going to get the black, and I'm just going to go in that corner, but I don't want to make, do you know sometimes when I do the outer V work, I bring that into the outer V into sort of the last third of my eye or last quarter of my eye. I'm not doing that this time, and I'm trying to keep it quite straight there. There you go, so that line is quite straight there. That. And then we want to work that in. But we definitely want it much darker near the crease. That. Again, this side. Keeping it quite straight there. Down. Working it up again. It's nice, it's working really nicely. Yeah, so as I say, it's just gone really, it's not cold, you know, it's not winter cold, but there's no sunshine, it's very, very dull, very overcast. And yet the other end of the country, and you have to remember our country's only small, it's fine, it's fine. Getting a fluffier brush, I'm going in with this one here, which I guess should be the highlight. Tapping my brush, and I'm just on the actual brow bone. Just going over on the actual brow bone like this. And just not going down to the black at all, but easing that so that there's no harsh edge. There. And when I've done that, I want to make sure that's tidied there again. Like that. I'm going to take a thinner brush. This one like this. I'm going to take the black again. And I'll have to look into the mirror for this one, guys. Very close to my lashes. Very, very close to my lashes. I'm going to, actually, as I said before, it's really on my lashes. I practically, can you see? Somebody's reversing, aren't they? I think it's the rubbish truck comes today. Yes, the rubbish truck comes today. Put that underneath like that. Looking it up a little bit at the side, as I do. And then got the smaller brush again, and we just want to work that so we're going up. And that one. So you can't see the definite line, because when you're working with black, it'll get a bit heavy otherwise. So it's not too far up, but it's definitely emphasising the crease, which is what we're looking for in this particular look. underneath, making sure that's done. Now when you're happy that it's all the area surrounding your lid, you know, I always feel like I'm acting like I'm telling you, and it's only what I do, you know. I never want to be you to get the impression that I'm, telling you how to do it, or I'm only telling you how I do it. It worries me that I don't want you to think that, because honestly, I don't know anything. Everything I know I've taught myself on my own face. You know, it's just practice, that's all it is. Practice over years and years and years. We won't say how many years. So when you're quite sure and you're quite happy that that's outside is done, I'm going to do something slightly different to what I normally do. I'm going to take this brush. This is the one that actually came in the palette. So it's fluffy one end, and the other end is just quite flat, but it'd be ideal for this. And this, what is this called? This is Revolution. Looks like concealer, doesn't it? But it's called a cut crease canvas. Now, you can put it on straight from, because that's a brush there. But I like to put it on a little finer, because there's a little bit more crease work to work around. So a lot of the questions that I've been asked before is that, can a mature woman wear a cut crease? Yes, I think, and you know my rules. If you like it, do it. Completely my rules. But maybe you have to work around things slightly differently. It's all according what sort of eyes you've got. It's all according how where your crease is, whether you have to define your crease more. It's something that you've got to work with yourself to try. But this is how I do it on my eyes. So this is the cut crease canvas, and this just goes round like this, and literally just on my lid. You see that, guys? It's literally just on my lid. And get it as steady and as clean as you can, but it's not going to be crisp like the younger ladies can do it. Certainly not my eyes anyway. And then, like I would with any sort of primer really, because it's only a glorified primer really, but it does work well for the cut crease look. But yeah, going back to doing a cut crease, we can, but probably to me, my own impression is slightly more subtly. Using all the same things and the same sort of tools, but just slightly more subtly. And we're going on to this one. I'm really pleased with that that palette. It's one of those ones, you can just bring out and do a look that's going to go with absolutely anything. And we'll just work that in. Like that. Now, do you feel that done? So that's the cut crease canvas, which is it's meant for your lid, is meant to do exactly what I've just done. So now I'm going to take another flatter brush. This is another Revolution brush. So actually exactly the same brush. It's come out of the same And I'm going to go with the one that's this one here, which is meant to be the bronzer, I think. Can you see that? It's quite, look, it's quite powdery. So I've done it flat, small, flat brush. And then we work on top of what we've done. We just put it flat. Like this, and work around with it flat. Like this. You have to build that up, and you don't want to blend that into the other colour. So you blend round like this. There, you work very carefully. It's not a look I would do every day. It's just something because a couple of you ladies have asked me, well, a few of you ladies have asked me about a cut crease, and I just thought I'd show you my version of it, which is not as it would have been when I was younger. Make sure that's all done. Pat that down with your finger, just gently patting that down. So that's that. And we'll do the same the other side. Takes a little longer. Put that down the other side. That's it. Now, when you've got lovely young eyes, you can make the cut a lot more stronger. You can make the definition between the two. I think, this, my opinion is, you can make it a lot stronger and a lot deeper. But when you're doing it on an older eye, at least an eye that's kind of, you know, a mature eye, I think it looks better if the cut is not so severe. Now, if I was younger, I would be able to get away with getting a thinner brush again and defining even darker around the edge of that, coming out to make that cut even stronger. But I think that's just a little bit too much for my eyes now. So that's it, guys. I'll get the rest of my makeup on, be able to see the effects a little bit better. Okay, my friends, so a cut crease, as I said, it is something I wouldn't do very defined anymore. I just sort of blend it out a little bit more. I make it a little bit more diffused. Just to sort of counteract for my aging eyes. But I like it. I like the look, and I like the way this lasts. This lasts a long while. It's a really lasting palette, and it'll be there tonight, you know, because to me that's really important. I don't like to sort of halfway through the day, you know, you see in the mirror and all your transition shades gone, and no, it doesn't do that. It's really good. Revolution, you can get it from Superdrug, you can get it from Revolution website, revolution.com, and it's called the Light and Shade, not the Shade Light. I think it's a dupe. Excellent, excellent, excellent palette, and definitely, definitely worthy of Palette of the Month. Okay, so what do you think about a cut crease? What do you think about that palette? Is there any palettes that you really, really like? You know, because maybe great minds think alike. We might both like them. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and tell me what you think about, you know, cut crease and an older eye as well. Because I love your ideas, you know that, guys. And what you think of it on my eyes too. Let me know, guys. Let me know. So I'll speak to you in my next video. Thank you for being here and for all the love and support you show me. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye.